Welcome back. Today I get to make something that I never get to make. This is a crocodile exterior using the most exclusive cut on the entire belly, straight down the belly center line, with a interior made from the world's best goat skin. This is from Auran goat, as you're about to see, and this is a project I've been looking forward to for months because I never get to do it. This wallet is for me. As someone who runs a YouTube channel and a luxury leatherwork company, I basically spend my entire time making things for other people. You can find my work in the description box. However, today, this is mine. This is something that I get to use on a daily basis for the next couple of decades, if not longer, and give it down to my grandchildren, which I don't currently have. But this is so exciting for me. So I'm going to be using a medium that I'm going to be laminating to the back of this crocodile. I'm going to be using a really thin 0.2 millimeter microfiber cloth, and the reason I'm doing that is because this crocodile was split at the tannery down to 1.1 millimeters, and that means that at the part of the crocodile I'm using, which is right over the umbilicus, is quite stretchy on a lateral direction. It's quite stretchy side to side, and I wanted to stabilize that slightly. I didn't want to use bonded leather because I didn't want to give this any more rigidity. I wanted this to be as soft as I could make it because I prefer soft wallets. I prefer very structured bags, but I prefer very soft wallets. And I'm going to be using my favorite color of both the crocodile and the goat. Weirdly enough, if I'm making something for myself, it's going to be my favorite color. This is Luluzi by Auran. I think it's their Chev, it's their Sully. I just absolutely love the grain. I managed to line up the spine straight down the lining so you'll see it in the middle. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Really excited about this. I'm not going to be edge painting anything. Well, I'm going to only be edge painting a little bit on the inside, and that's on the edges of the card modules, which you'll see very shortly. An entire tutorial on both folded edges and painted edges. Watch those if you want to get better, and honestly, this is something that only improves in time. It's not something you get right straight away. Years ago, when I started thinking about leatherwork, I was really hesitant to begin because, like many of you, I saw all of these leatherworkers on YouTube and Instagram making bags and fancy wallets, but I didn't want to start because I didn't want to suck at it. The pressure of not wanting to suck at leather stopped me from doing it for a long time before I finally dove in, keeping me stuck in this limbo of not being sure how to really start. Taking one small impactful step, in my case, getting my hands on my first piece of leather, really created meaningful momentum. Therapy can offer the support and fresh perspective that helped me recognize progress without requiring perfection from the start. When I started, I just couldn't get myself moving because I didn't want that lack of perfection to hinder the initial progress, because it all starts with that initial step. To begin with, I just could not get myself over that hump, and my therapist helped me see that actually to get to be where I wanted to be, I had to take that first initial imperfect step. Paid partners like BetterHelp allow me to continue making these videos for you guys. One thing about starting therapy most people struggle with is finding the right therapist for you. BetterHelp makes this process ridiculously easy. You simply fill out an online quiz and get matched with a credentialed therapist who suits you best out of hundreds available in the UK and overseas. Not only that, but if the first therapist you match with isn't quite the right fit, you can switch at any point with no costs at all to find the right one for you. To get started with BetterHelp today, simply use my link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/Will Hodges and get 10% off your first month of therapy. Thank you again, BetterHelp, for supporting this channel, and let's get back to the build. So, we're going to be making a wallet with 4 card slots over 2 modules, one on each side, because obviously why would you put 2 modules on the same side? It'd be just skew width. And this is going to be a folded edge card slots. Well, these are going to be folded edge card slots. They're not going to be painted edges. And one of the reasons for that is because this leather is 0.8 millimeter thick. So I send them off to be split. Aran themselves don't split leather for you. So I send them off externally to be split. And for me, the perfect thickness of an internal leather for wallets is 0.8 mil, because you can skive it down really nicely to, in this case, a feather edge, and then you can do a really nice folded turned edge. Like I said before the ad break, there is a tutorial on my channel of how to do folded edges, and I strongly suggest you go watch that. But you're going to need lots of tape. In fact, I think tape is probably my favorite thing in my studio. I buy it in boxes of like 20 rolls, which last me about a year. Obviously showing one card module, not both sides, because you do not need to see everything twice. It will get very boring, and this is already a relatively long build for you. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching my last one on how to make a exotic crossbody bag. That one's done very well, so I really appreciate you guys. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please go and do that. I don't actually think I'm going to use all 4 card slots on this. I don't think I'm going to use all 4 of anything in this. I'm also going to be putting a cash slot on the back of it. Now, I call it a cash slot, but there's a caveat to this, a little asterisk to that, because I don't carry cash ever. I might keep 20 quid note in it, possibly, but that'll be under one of the front slots just for absolute emergency case. I carry a wallet with a cash slot because I have to keep receipts. When I run a business, I run Treve Cambridge, and I have to keep receipts to show my accounting, so I don't need a massive slot for cash. So I made a very anemic, a very thin cash slot on the back. Again, asterisk on cash slot, so that I could keep my receipts. And then if it gets too thick to close, I know I need to take the receipts out and actually count them. It's a win-win for both me and my accountant. Something that you guys really need to do is that when you're using a leather that has a coating on it, you really need to scratch the surface off it when you glue. I see so many people making the beginner mistake of trying to glue stuff to unabraded leather. And because it's got that surface on it, the glue has nothing to stick to. The mechanics of the glue is very simple. The glue sticks to itself, but this glue that's stuck to itself is stuck to glue that is in the fibers above and below. So the glue is not actually stuck to the other side through the fibers directly. It's fibers, glue, stuck to more glue than to fibers. So if the glue that's touching the leather doesn't have any substance to stick to, because you haven't abraded the surface off, you're not going to really be able to do anything. It's going to peel apart quite quickly. So use just any blade. I use a scalpel blade to scratch off the surface of the leather, and it will stick so much better. I'm sorry about the color of the thread here. I'm using a tone-on-tone thread for the bottom of this T-slot, and that is simply because when I open the front pocket, I never want to be able to see the thread. It would be very difficult to see that far down anyway, but I don't want to be able to see the thread. And therefore, I'm using a tone-on-tone thread, but it just makes it a little bit harder for you guys to see. I did think about using a different color because it's a YouTube video, but I also want to use this wallet as my perfect wallet. If you want to buy something from me, go to my Instagram and you'll be able to contact me through there. And I would absolutely love to make any one of you guys something, but I warn you, I am not cheap. I should also be banned for making jokes because I'm actually not that funny. One of the great things about the pattern, this particular pattern, and I will be putting it on my website, I promise, but I'm trying to get around to that. My website is in the description box below. When you are making your own pattern, you can do anything to it you want, and that's one of the beautiful things about leatherwork, is you can do anything you want. So for this, and for any wallet I make, the T-slot doesn't end at the top of the front pocket. The T-slot ends 5mm, or approximately 5mm, depending on how accurate you want to cut it, below the front pocket. And this is because I never want a thread to go between the front and the T-slot, because it will spread apart over time, essentially. If you guys want me to do a video on the difference between laminating and non-laminating layers of leather together, so doing what I'm doing here, or laminating, please do let me know in the comment section below, because gluing is a whole art in itself. I'm gluing only the sides of this. Like I said before at the beginning of this video, I want to make this as soft as I can, because I want it to age really, really beautifully. But I also don't want to see the stitches on the back of the card modules. I want everything to I don't want any visible stitches that are not the color of the exterior, basically. This is what I chose to do. And the only way for me to do that was to cover the back with obviously more leather. I bell skived the outside of that down to, I think it was 0.2 if I remember correctly. It was very, very thin. My bell skiver needs a service, but I haven't gotten around to it. I'm also using a 3mm pricking iron on this. That's what I designed the pattern for, and it fits outstandingly. And I'll be using a 0.45mm thread, because I know all of you will all ask for what thread and pricking iron I use. The glue is EcoSar 16PIU. I do not have a link for that, I'm sorry, but you can find it on Pro Italia Plus's website. This may look, this is an interesting colour thread for me. When I look at it by itself next to the blue, it looks slightly orange. When I look at it next to the cognac colour exterior, which is by far my favourite type of brown, it looks brown. What does it look brown? Does it look orange? I genuinely cannot tell. But I love the contrast between them on the inside and the match that you'll see on the outside. Really, really love it. Am I pricking all the way through any of this? No, I am not. I am punching the holes on all of the surfaces, and I'm doing what's called the X technique. It's not from X-Men. It is specifically so that you can get the perfect distance between your edge and your pricking holes at every point across the wallet. This is fully laminated, before you ask me. This is definitely fully laminated because I wanted a bit of structure to the back. I didn't want bonded leather structure, I wanted leather structure. And it was a decision I made after I'd covered it in the microfiber cloth, as you saw at the beginning. But I did skive it down to the exact same as the other one. Because the cash slot on the back is obviously separate from the card modules, you have to stitch and edge paint the top of it separately, because once you stitch them together, you'll have a stitch going over between the front and the back, and you won't be able to edge paint it or have space to stitch it. So absolutely always stitch the top of your card module first. And again, this is fully laminated because I wanted some structure to the back of the card wallet. This entire thing was very, very carefully designed. When I found out that I could make myself something, I think I spent about 3 weeks designing every single aspect of the feel of all of it. It was something that I thought about in great detail for a long time. It's what I do for all of my clients. I think about what they want, what they're going to use their piece for, how long if they want to keep it for a season. I don't actually like that very much because my work is designed to be kept for generations, and Do they want it to be really, really bold, or do they want it to live happily in their bag with everything else? These are choices that they make because it is their piece, and this is my piece, so these are choices I made. I got to put my initials on one of the pockets, which I very rarely get to do because I very rarely get to make myself anything. One of the beautiful things about a perfect pattern is there's no trimming afterwards. A lot of leather workers you'll see in the US will put like a 5mm trim allowance on it. You don't need a trim allowance. You just need to have your pattern actually work. If you have a pattern and technique that works, a technique that you've practiced, good sanding technique, good cutting technique, you don't need to cut off 5mm off the outside. It's not necessary because you're just going to clean it up with sanding after anyway. Not a lot. Please stop using please stop using cutting allowance in your patterns and learn the techniques that make leather work amazing. As a general rule of thumb, if you're making a wallet, I'll call it a wallet, it's more of a card wallet, but I'll call it a wallet, with a cash slot on the back. For a very, very slim cash slot, like a receipt slot, I do 10mm longer than the pattern, because a lot of you guys will buy patterns. I sell patterns on my website, but a lot of you guys will buy patterns and want to add a cash slot to it. If you want to have it with a bigger, wider cash slot, add 15 or 20, but cut it out in a piece of paper or a piece of bonded leather first and test it. But general rule of thumb is 10 to 15mm. These scales were beautiful to stitch. As you saw at the beginning, I got to put the pattern anywhere on the belly I wanted, and the most exclusive cut is as close to the umbilicus as you can get, as close to the belly button of the crocodile as you can get. I prefer Nile crocodile over alligator. I just like the scales a little bit more, but each to their own, and I got to order the skin for myself, so I got to choose the skin. If you order a piece from me, you get to choose exactly what skin you want. I got a comment the other day which was very confusing to me. Someone asked me, do I sell finished products? Of course I do. It's my entire business. YouTube is a part of that business, but the majority of my business is making things for clients. So I was very surprised to hear that. Now, I'm not going to show you 6 layers of edge painting for the simple reason you and I will go very, very bored, because I will have to edit it and you will have to sit through it and probably in reality won't sit through it. So if you want to see how I do edge painting, I have a complete guide to edge painting, and you can go and watch that, and I really would love it if you did. Probably the best investment you can make outside of an electric creaser. Everyone needs to buy an electric creaser. The best cheap investment you can make is really good quality sandpaper. That was a 600 grit, and I often go up to an 800 depending on the edge I want. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. I really, really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, do all of the YouTubey things. I will see you next week. We're doing 2 videos a week for the foreseeable future, so I would love your support for those. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care.